4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good. All right, guys, so hook and link for today, all right? If you have the answer, actually, no, we'll go raise your hand for true, okay? And then I'll ask you for false, okay? So if you think it's true, raise your hand. Then when I ask you if it's false, okay? So true or false, all right? All STDs have symptoms, okay? Raise your hand if you think that's true. That all STDs have symptoms, okay? Raise your hand if you think it's false. I should see everybody's hands up because nobody put their hand up. Okay, good job. That is correct. False, okay? Or I'm sorry, yeah, false, all right? So all STDs have symptoms, false. That is not true, okay? And we'll learn more about that, okay? All STDs are curable. If you think that that is true, raise your hand. All right, good. If you think it's false, raise your hand. Everybody should because you guys, all right, good. You guys said false, that's correct. All right, and we're going to get into that a little bit. All right, does anybody know what STDs are not curable? HIV, okay, that turns into AIDS. What else? Raj, you got one? Never mind, okay. All right, so we'll learn. There's a couple more. Yeah, Sophia? Mono's not an STD. That is a illness that it affects the respiratory system. So, yep. But we're going to learn about a couple more. Okay, raise your hand if you think it's true that some STDs are fatal. Oh, fatal means you die. Good. Okay. False. Okay. Anybody? No. Okay. True. It is true. If left untreated, some STDs can lead to serious complications that can lead to death. Okay, like syphilis and HIV. Okay, so scary stuff. All right, and it's not just scary because it's fatal. All STDs are very scary. Okay, because they can seriously affect your health. All right, so today, all right, we are going to talk about obviously STDs. All right, we're going to talk about what they are. Unfortunately, what they look like, okay? We're going to learn about some people that have been through it and their lives have been affected by it. Okay, we're going to talk about the different ways that it affects us. So, okay, our standards for today, and they're on the board if you need them. Students will comprehend. All right, let's quiet down in the back. Thank you. Okay, students will comprehend concepts related to health promotion and disease prevention. All right, so I can identify common STDs and their symptoms. Okay, so how do we prevent, and also how do we prevent these different types of things? Okay, and then our other standard just has to do with our group work. Okay, so being able to initiate and participate effectively in a range of collaborative discussions. Today, we are going to talk out loud together. We're going to talk in groups. You guys have like a little activity to do. Okay, so I can share my ideas clearly and respectfully in a group setting, okay, about sensitive topics. And obviously, this is a more sensitive topic. So I need you guys to be mature, all right, and whenever we go over these things, okay? So our I can statements again. All right, and then our essential question for today. So I want you guys to think about this first, okay? You don't have to answer it right now, all right? How can understanding the risks, symptoms, and prevention of STDs help students make safer and healthier decisions? Okay, so the more we know about this stuff, hey, how does that help us? All right, so think about that. We're going to answer that later on. Okay, that'll be our groups for later. So what we're going to do, so you guys go ahead and pass back the papers, all right, that you have in the front here. This is, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, there is a video that goes along with the worksheet, and we go and fill it out together. Okay, so I may ask you to fill things out. Yes, ma'am. You are going to pick your groups, yes. I just picked the topic for you. Okay? All right, so you guys get to pick your group, so make sure you're starting to think about that. All right, I will let you pick them for today. All right, so what we're doing now, we are going to watch the video, okay? And then I need you guys to fill out your answers. Yes, ma'am. We'll get there. I think probably 5 or 6. Okay. All right. So we've got a couple of questions to answer while we watch the video. How did contracting an STD affect the lives of the teens and young adults in the video? And why are most teens not concerned about contracting an STD? Okay. So let me restart. All right. So we're gonna watch this, and then make sure you guys are filling it out as we go. All right, here we go.
I went to the doctor because
Yes. What's that? A pencil?
well, I didn't know that I had an STD. In fact, the particular STD I had is called HPV, human papillomavirus. It's really common. Most people don't know that they have it. I went to the doctor because I found these small bumps, and turns out they were genital warts caused by the HPV. And my doctor told me that there are lots of different strains of HPV, and that some of them can even cause different types of genital cancers. Well, my brother called me and said something's wrong, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. So I took him to the emergency room, and after being examined, the doctor said, well, he said, I'm sorry, but you have the STD.
So I thought I had an STD. I started getting a rash and I had a bump and it really freaked me out. So I went to the doctor and I sat in the waiting room for the longest time. And the sitting there, the worrying and not knowing, it really freaked me out. And I was just hoping and praying that I didn't have an STD.
Well, genital herpes makes my brother feel extremely uncomfortable. He gets random outbreaks and open sores, they itch, they burn. It's just, the medicine does help, but it's still difficult to deal with.
Sitting there, stressed and worrying, I told myself that if I didn't have an STD, I would not have sex again until I was married.
A little bit before my senior football season, for a football camp, I got really sick. I missed probably 3 weeks of football practice. The doctors ran a lot of tests, and I tested positive for HIV. And if HIV isn't treated concerning AIDS, then you can die from it. I figured out I died from a woman that I had sex with that was infected.
So when I was 27 years old, I met the man of my dreams. We both had been sexually active in high school, and we both had multiple sexual partners. I never really paid any attention to facts about sexually transmitted diseases. So after I met my fiance, I thought, I'll just go get tested and then I can close the door to my sexual past forever.
I had sex with a girl that I didn't know well at the time. Both hung out with some friends that we both knew, and it just happened. No one I knew ever talked about no STD.
The doctor calls me in and says, I'm sorry, you have chlamydia. And even though I hadn't had any symptoms, it turns out that I probably had it for a while.
I couldn't even imagine that she would have HIV. Honestly, I didn't know what to think at all. I didn't know I would ever die. I didn't even know how far along I was at all. I didn't even think I was too promiscuous because I had friends that had dozens of sexual partners. Too many to count. What I realized is the history matters too, right? And even if you're just sleeping with one person, it can lead up to this if they're infected.
My doctor explained that while chlamydia can be cured with antibiotics, if you have it and don't know it, and since you don't know it and you don't treat it, over time, untreated chlamydia can cause something called pelvic inflammatory disease, or PID. And pelvic inflammatory disease can permanently damage parts of a woman's body, including her fallopian tubes. And if that happens, it can prevent a woman from ever being able to get pregnant and have biological children. Instead of enjoying planning our wedding, my fiance had to get tested, and I'll have to get additional tests to see if I've had any permanent internal damage from chlamydia. And if so, how much damage? Would we still be able to fulfill our dreams of family together? Or what would be our backup plan?
Okay, so we're gonna come back to the video, okay, but we're gonna talk a little bit first. Okay, so number one, okay? And I've got some candy up here for people who participate. How did contracting an STD affect the lives of the teens and young adults? Kevin?
It can damage parts of their body.
Yes. Okay, good. So it can damage parts of their body. What? But who? Who mostly?
Women.
Yeah, females. Good. Okay. Taraji? Yep. And messed up his plans for the future. Yes. Good job. Caitlin? A lot of what? Anxiety. Yes. Okay, I'm going to take two more. Okay. Coming at you, girl. All right. Isaac. Yeah, it can create some symptoms that are embarrassing, like a rash or something that's very uncomfortable. Okay, Manaya? I got you, Isaac. Yes, if they have it, okay, it affects the way they view themselves, okay? Is anybody allergic to anything? I should have asked that. Peanuts, anybody tree nuts? It's okay, you don't have to okay, all right. Are you good with peanut butter stuff? Ah, right over you, Williams. Okay, Kit Kat, Manaya? All right, there'll be other opportunities. Okay, good. So yes, guys, obviously, it is an uncomfortable thing. All right, it's something that you can't hide. Why wouldn't you be able to hide this, something that you have like this? Why wouldn't you be able to hide that, Williams?
The symptoms, most of the STD symptoms that, like rashes and stuff, that you're all over.
Okay, yes, and then what else?
Like some people can have random outbreaks.
Okay, yeah, the random outbreaks, but what else? Like if she was talking about her fiance, they're supposed to be planning a wedding, but now they're what? How does it affect why can't you hide it? Yeah, Ibram.
Because like she can't be pregnant.
Okay, yes, okay, but I'm looking for why can't you can't keep that to yourself because you can affect who? Yeah, your partner. So from now on, right, if you contracted an STD, from now on, you have to tell everybody what you have, right? Okay, especially if it's something like herpes or HIV, okay, or HPV, okay, because those things are not curable. So we'll get into that a little bit more. All right, number 2. Why are most teens not concerned about contracting an STD? Ibram.
Because they believe if they only have sex once, they won't get it.
Yeah, they won't get it. If they have sex once, no big deal. I'm going to be fine. Good. Okay, if you already answered, you're not getting candy again until later. Okay, and Omar and then Robin. Yeah, maybe they're not thinking before doing something. Okay, good. Robin? Yeah, it's not usually talked about. It's not a popular conversation topic. Okay, but a lot of the times, all right, teens think it can't happen to them, right? Juliana, one more.
Because most of them don't think it happens to them because of their friends who are doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, oh, it didn't happen to so-and-so, so it won't happen to me. Right? Absolutely. Okay? Good job. All right. So make sure, guys, remember, it's very important that you're filling out your answers because this is how I grade these papers. So make sure you have something written, all right, that we've been talking about. We've given you everything. You'll have all the answers, okay? Let's flip to the next page. Okay, so filling out in the blanks, it's a group discussion. Okay, there are more than, can anybody guess how many sexually transmitted diseases there are?
5.
Nope, more than 5, more than 10. 25, winner, Veronica. Okay, good job. All right, so 25, okay? So make sure we're filling that in. STDs can be blank through vaginal, oral, and or anal sex, or in some cases through skin-to-skin sexual contact. Transmitted or contracted, good. Okay? Every year, approximately, I don't know if y'all will be able to guess, this is a big number, 10 million. Approximately 10 million young people contract a new STD. Okay, so you got to think of all the people, like as it spreads, if you have sex with one person, then that person has sex with another person, and then it continues to go and go and go, right? What's up?
How many zeros does 10 million have?
4.
4?
10, so 0, then comma 0, 0, 0. No, that's 10,000. 7, sorry. What?
What was the other one?
Number one, what was number one, guys?
25.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, 7 zeros, I'm dumb. Okay, teens are especially vulnerable to spreading and contracting STDs. All right, why would they say that? Teens are especially vulnerable. Okay, they're more sexually active. Okay, maybe they're not thinking before doing, like Omar said. Okay, so STDs often have no symptoms. Okay, they often have no symptoms. That doesn't mean that they don't. That means often that they don't. Okay, so that means that you might get symptoms, like some of these people in the video, and you might not. All right, so that's what makes it really especially scary. Okay, sexually active teens and young adults are more likely than other age groups to have, what do you think? Multiple sex partners. Okay. And then we're talking about females here in this next one. All right, so the cervix, okay, and cervix, guys, is it is, so you have for the women's anatomy, okay, it's the vagina, and then the cervix is the opening to the uterus, okay? So basically that is what makes or breaks you being able to have children, okay, is if your cervix is normal or not normal. So if that's affected, ladies, that can lead to infertility. Okay, so the cervix, CERVIX,
Where?
of adolescent females is more at risk for STD infection than other older females. Okay? So that means the younger you are, unfortunately, the more susceptible you are to your cervix being damaged. Okay? CERVIX. All right, going on to the next one. Okay? We're gonna do an activity, okay, and then we're gonna go to the next thing. Okay? So, what I'm gonna do, and this requires you guys getting up and moving a little bit. All right, which all you need is a pencil or a pen. Okay, I'm just gonna give you an index card. You're gonna write your name on it in print. Okay? Then you're gonna go around and in a minute, you're gonna try and get as many signatures as you can on your card. Okay, so the goal is to get as many signatures, like whoever gets the most signatures from other people in class, you can't sign someone's twice, you win. Okay? You got it? All right, and then once the minute's up, I'll let you know to sit down. All right, so I'm gonna pass out index cards. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, All right, write your name at the top of your index card.
Oh, sorry.
Just write your name at the top. If you have extra index cards, pass them forward. Okay? Write your name at the top. That's you. Okay? All right, that's your card. All right, when I say go, thank you for the extras. Thank you for the extras. When I say go, you guys are gonna get up. Oh, sorry, sweetie. When I say go, you guys are gonna get up and get as many signatures as possible. Okay? All right, you got 1 minute. I'm gonna set my timer. Go! I'll give everybody a second to get up. Come on, come on, come on. Get as many signatures as you can. Get up, get up. No, I'm not in it. Yes, I'm not a part of this. You can't get my signature.
Sign now. Sign now.
Y'all got 5, 4, 3, and a seat. Get back to your seat. Keep your card with you. All right. So, I need everybody to flip their card around. Who has the X on their card? Who has an X on their card? Jenny. Okay, Jenny, come on forward. Come on, bud. Bring your card. All right, let me see your card. You stand up here with me, okay? All right, so let me have Taraji. You come up with your card. Caitlin, you come up with your card. And then I don't know who that is. Who's got the squiggly signature? Is that you, Ellie? All right, Ellie, come on. No, it's a pencil. Oh, it's not you, it's you? Zuri. Okay, come on, Zuri. Come on, Taraji. Bring your papers. All right, so Jenny, Caitlin. No, this thing. Bring your index card. Okay, so now, all right. Zuri, Caitlin, Taraji, read off the names on your cards. Call them up here. Sade. Okay. Williams, come on. Sade, come on. Gio. Are you guys catching on? Isaac. Benaya. Sophia. Okay. All right. Ben. Okay. Let's see. Caitlin, read off who you got on yours. Guys, shush. Okay, so Jaden. Okay. All right, let's see. Who's got a bunch on theirs? All right, let's go. Gio, you've got Moxie, Kevin, Ibram. Okay, Beyonce, Val, or Val? Yeah, not Val. Veronica. Sorry, y'all. See, all right. Kevin, I don't know. I think you, Kevin. All right, so what do you guys think the purpose of this exercise is? How fast an STD can be spread. So let's see, whose card was it? Jenny's card was the one with the X. Okay, we're not saying it that way. Her card indicated that there was an STD. Okay, and everybody who had contact with that card got the STD, and then everybody who got contacted with somebody who got contacted with it, and now it keeps going. You guys got it? So that is to show you, okay, how fast and how terribly it can spread.
I did get
Okay? I'm pretty sure everybody in this room, if they signed somebody's card, it's related to the STD. Okay? I'm just not gonna go through the entire class. So, all right, so you guys get it? All right, thank you, everybody. You can throw your cards out and sit down. Okay, good job. Good job. Sorry. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You can just keep your card. 5, 4. Okay, moving on. We got a lot to get through. Come on. Thank you, sweetie. All right, even, just, what? One. Okay, just one person, one sexual encounter can lead to contracting an STD. Okay, just one. It only takes one. Okay, so that number is 1. One person infected with an STD can put many people at risk. Okay, many people at risk. Okay, the more sexual partners you have, the more likely it is that you will be exposed to an STD. All right, so very scary, guys, very scary. When you have sex with someone, you are exposed to possible STDs from every other partner they have been with, as we just saw in our exercise there, okay? All right, and that note at the bottom, both males and females who have been sexually active should get tested for STDs, okay? There's look, guys, no judgment in this life, okay? If you do have sex, okay, you should get tested, all right? If you're planning to have sex with someone new, you should have them get tested, all right? There's no shame in that because you want to protect yourself, okay? All right. And I know it's kind of it's a tough conversation to have right now. I get it. Y'all are young, but you need to know this stuff now. Did you guys go through this in middle school? Okay, some of you have, some of you haven't. Okay. All right, let's go to the next page. All right. Okay, so talking about some common STDs, they've got chlamydia and gonorrhea, two of the nastiest sounding ones, in my opinion. Okay, so chlamydia is a common bacterial STD. All right, bacterial is a key word here. Viral is different than bacterial. Okay, bacterial is curable, viral is not. Okay, infecting nearly 3 million people. 3 million. And you can just write million, so I don't have to be wrong about how many zeros there are. Okay, 3 million people in the US each year, including nearly 2 million young people. Okay, so a big part of that is young people.
Just 2 million.
That's fine. If symptoms are present, they may include abnormal discharges or a burning sensation when urinating. Chlamydia is diagnosed by lab tests. While the disease can be cured with antibiotics, okay, cured, if left untreated, it can have serious consequences, particularly among women. Untreated chlamydia can cause PID, which is pelvic inflammatory disease, among women, which can lead to infertility, which means you're not able to have children or you have struggle with having children.
What?
Infertility, INFERTILITY. Infertility. I think I spelled that right.
Yeah.
Okay, and life-threatening ectopic pregnancies, okay, which is where a fertilized egg grows outside the uterus, so it grows in the fallopian tube, okay? So I don't have a lot of board here, but just to give you an idea, guys, an ectopic pregnancy, you have your ovary, your fallopian tube, into the uterus, okay? Then you have the cervix and the vagina, okay? It's very simple drawing. What happens with an ectopic pregnancy when you have PID or pelvic inflammatory disease? This right here, your uterus gets all inflamed and it can be a little funky, okay? The sperm, when it gets into the fallopian tube and it combines with the egg, it can get stuck in the fallopian tube, okay? Does that look like a good place for a child to grow? No, right? Okay, so that is very dangerous and can lead to serious complications, and you're unfortunately not able to carry on that term of that child. So it's very, very, very bad, okay, to have these types of diseases if they go left untreated, okay? It can cause a lot of issues. All right? Okay, so now we're going to look at some medical slides. Okay, medical is the key word. If you're a little bit squeamish, I would say just turn away from these, but it's not that bad, but it's also not the greatest. Okay, so we're gonna look at some pictures. Okay, I'm so sorry to do this to you guys, but it's for educational purposes. All right. What's up? We're not done yet with this one.
Here is a picture of a healthy female cervix, which is the opening at the end of the vagina. During and after sex, sperm travel through the opening of the cervix into the uterus. At birth, the cervix dilates to allow the baby to pass through. In this picture, chlamydia has infected the cervix. The
This is what I was
cervix is
just
swollen
talking
and
about.
red from the infection and bleeds easily. The woman got the infection from having sex with a man who was infected with chlamydia.
All right. Okay, so I like how it tells me. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about gonorrhea. So that's chlamydia. Okay, you see if it's left untreated how terribly it affects you. Gonorrhea is another bacterial STD infecting 820,000. So that's 820,000 people each year in the US. If present, symptoms may include a burning sensation when urinating or abnormal discharge. So is that the same symptoms as chlamydia? Yeah. Okay, so it's important to get tested. Okay. In women, symptoms may be mild and mistaken for a vaginal infection. So you might think, ladies, that you just have a UTI, okay, which is not anything serious, really. Well, it could be, but not like an STD. Gonorrhea is diagnosed by lab tests. Okay, so again, test it. Gonorrhea can be cured with antibiotics, but remains a common cause of PID or pelvic inflammatory disease in women. Okay, so you can just put PID and not blank. Okay, and then you have some more informational slides.
Here is a photograph of a female pelvis scarred with PID from an untreated chlamydia infection.
Okay, this is the
Contracted when the woman
fallopian
was
tube.
18.
This is
The
the
photo
ovary.
shows the woman's uterus and fallopian tubes.
This is the uterus. Okay, all right, next. All right, so did you see how big the uterus, it was very big and inflamed. That's not good. So flipping to the next page, guys. Okay, we're gonna talk about HPV or human papillomavirus.
Sorry.
Okay, the key word here is virus. It's not a bacterial infection. So HPV, while it's very common, it's viral. So it is, there's no cure. Okay, so HPV is a very common viral STD with approximately 14 million new infections each year. Yes? You don't have that? You guys don't have this page? Coach T. Oh no. So what happened was whenever I made copies, it didn't work. So we're just gonna go through it together. It's totally fine. All right. I'm just gonna read it out to you guys. You don't have to write anything down. Just listen, okay? And I'm gonna quiz you afterwards now. All right. So 14 million new infections each year. Nearly half of those among 15 to 24-year-olds. Okay. And 79 million people currently infected. Although there is no cure for HPV, most HPV infections go away on their own without causing any health problems. However, lasting HPV infections can cause genital warts or certain types of cancer. HPV can cause cervical cancer in women, penile cancer in men, and anal cancer in both women and men. Okay? HPV can also cause cancer in the back of the throat, including the base of the tongue and tonsils. Okay? A vaccine for HPV is now available to help protect against the strains of HPV that are most common causes of cervical and other cancers, as well as genital warts. Sexually active females should also get a Pap test done, which helps diagnose cervical cancer starting at age 21. Okay? So, ladies, unfortunately, we always kind of get the short end of the stick. We've got a lot more going on inside. So it's important for you to see an OBGYN when you do turn 21. Is there someone at the door? Thank you. Okay. So going back now. All right. How many people, what was that first number? Do you guys remember how many people with new infections each year? Thank you. Wait, Elijah? No, this is not me, sweetie. She's next door. Oh, I have a Williams, but his first name is Williams, not Elijah. So he's not in my class. Okay, thanks, sweetie. All right, how many people? You guys remember? 14 million, okay? And then, although there is no what for HPV? Cure, okay? Most go away on their own, okay? But what is there now that can help you to prevent HPV? A vaccine, good. You can get a series of vaccines from your doctor, usually your pediatrician. A lot of people may actually have it done, all right, already. So, okay, moving on, all right, to HIV. Okay, HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. It weakens a person's immune system. All right, so the HIV virus attacks your T cells, okay, in your body, which it basically renders you defenseless against other infections. So while you don't necessarily die from HIV, it turns into AIDS, which eventually kills you because you can't fight anything off. Okay, so it's kind of a slow death, which sucks, obviously. But there are some ways to treat it and help people live a long, healthy life that if you do have HIV. Okay, so let's look through the rest of these. All right, unfortunately, sorry guys, we're gonna look through the rest of these. Okay, this is HPV in a male.
This photograph illustrates what an HPV infection of genital warts looks like
So
on
that's
man.
genital warts.
Sometimes the warts are so small they are not detectable.
I know, sorry.
This photo shows a small genital wart on the external genitalia of a woman.
I'm gonna keep it going, okay? I know. Sorry.
This photo shows a herpes blister on the underside of a man's penis. Each time the herpes infection flares up, it also
Maturity,
appears
please.
in almost the same place as the original lesions. This photo shows herpes blisters on a woman. When the infection is this serious, urination may be painful when urine flows across the sores.
Disgusting. Okay, great. Really glad that's over, right, guys? Okay, all right. So, okay, so you guys have the next page. Okay, so which one do you guys have? Facts versus myths? Oh, that's my baby. He's 2 months old today. Can you believe it? 2 months. I know. That's a much better thing than vaginal herpes. All right, I'm gonna put them down. No, I was like, wait. Okay, so, hey, all right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Thank you. Thank you for not making me have to go any further. So let's go back to our essential question. I want to ask this. I want you guys to answer it now, okay? So how can understanding all these risks and symptoms and ways to prevent it so far that we've learned help students make safer and healthier decisions? Raise your hand, please. I'll give you candy. See all the hands go up now. Zuri?
It like maybe like stops people wanting to do it anymore, like makes them rethink their decision.
Yeah, makes you rethink your decision. I like that answer. Good stuff. I hope you like Kit Kats. I'll take 2 more answers. Anybody else that has something different than what Zuri just said? Gio?
Things now I'm like more scared about it.
Okay, that's basically kind of what she said. Okay, but I'll still give you candy anyways. Okay, yes.
If already like had sex, they can now know to like go get tested for.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have had sex, and again, we don't judge, we don't shame anyone, okay, in life, you go get tested, okay? It helps them to make healthier decisions in the next time around, or maybe it completely changes their decisions. Okay, you like Kit Kats? Okay. All right, one more. I'm gonna go Ellie, because you haven't seen your hand yet. Absolutely. That is absolutely true. Very good. Okay, if both parties are educated on it, okay, that creates a common conversation that isn't as awkward, and maybe both people can protect themselves there, right? Very good. Thank you, Ellie. Good job. Okay. All right. So excellent answers to our essential question. Okay, don't worry about this yet. We're going to continue going through our packet. All right, facts versus myths about HIV. You guys have this one, right? 5. I gotta use my other 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, guys. Relax there. All right, we're gonna look at some of the most common myths about HIV and AIDS. Okay. So now myth number 1. All right, HIV can be contracted by shaking hands with an infected person or through casual contact. Okay, that is a myth, obviously, an untruth. Okay, it is not true. Most commonly spread through what? Sexual contact, okay? HIV can enter the body through the lining of the vagina, vulva, penis, rectum, or mouth. Okay?
What's the first one?
Sexual contact. Okay, myth number 2. An individual knows when he or she is infected with HIV. Is that true, guys?
No.
What was that guy saying on there? Remember? He's talking about football.
Yeah.
Where was he? He was at a football training camp. Okay? He didn't know how far along he was when he started getting really sick. He's lucky, right? He said it. He's like, I'm lucky I got really sick or I would have never known. Okay? Some people live with it. They have no idea until all of a sudden they get really, really sick. Okay? So many people do not develop any symptoms. Okay? More persistent or severe symptoms may not surface for many years. Okay, there's another blank under there, so make sure you're still in that second box. Okay? Myth number 3. AIDS patients live healthy, normal lives. Now, HIV is what's contracted, and it eventually turns into AIDS. Okay? The term AIDS applies to the final stage of HIV infection. As the immune system deteriorates, a variety of complications begins to surface. Swollen lymph glands, okay, maybe in the neck, lack of energy, weight loss for no reason, frequent fevers and sweats, persistent yeast infections in women or men, skin rashes, and short-term memory loss. Okay, that stuff doesn't usually come about until a long time, many years later, okay? A person with AIDS becomes particularly vulnerable to infections because of a compromised immune system. Compromised means it is like weakened, okay? So compromised is weakened, okay? Myth number 4, and this is unfortunate, but there is a cure for HIV and AIDS. There is not, okay? Currently available medications do not cure HIV infections or AIDS, but they can suppress the virus, like I was saying earlier, okay? Okay, myth number 5, HIV/AIDS is an adult disease and does not affect teens. That is a myth, obviously, okay? Of the approximately 40,000 new HIV cases per year, 40K, an estimated 21% of that is young people.
Wow.
Okay, age 13 to 24. Okay, 13 to 24. So really scary. All right. Okay. Flipping to the next page. Okay, this is our last page, yeah? All right. What about safe? Okay, quotation, safe or safer sex. Okay, there's a reason why there's quotes over those two words. Okay. Safe or safer sex means using a male what? Condom. Okay, when having sex. To be most effective against pregnancy and STDs, condoms must be used both consistently and correctly. Okay, every time, every single time. Okay, studies show that a large proportion of condom users do not use them consistently and correctly. Okay, even among adult couples who knew their partner had HIV, less than half use condoms consistently. Okay, so condoms do help you to prevent this spread. Okay, however, again, it has to be used consistently, so every time, and correctly every time. Okay, how well do condoms work for birth control? Okay, they're made of rubber. They can break, slip off, be affected by heat and cold. So, you know, people keep them in their purse or wallet forever, and then they think, you know, it goes through summertime and wintertime, and 5 years later it gets used. It's not effective, okay? All right, condoms, or studies show that slippage or breakage occurs 1 to 4% of the time. Okay, so not a ton, but it still happens. All right, typical couples who use condoms for birth control experience a first-year failure rate of 13% in preventing pregnancies. Okay, so if you guys remember yesterday, and I'm gonna bring this back out real quick. In our other lesson, we talked about ways to prevent or reducing the risk of pregnancy. Okay, and I can give this back to you guys so you can see it, but just going through it. Okay, there's a bunch of different ways to prevent pregnancy here. All right, we've got no contraception, which is nothing. Okay, which might be like the rhythm method or pull-out method. Okay, spermicide, diaphragm, fertility awareness-based methods, which again is tracking your fertility. A male condom, which we're talking about now. The pill, so the ladies take a pill, an injectable or a patch, or an IUD implant. Okay, those are our different ways to prevent pregnancy. Okay, I am going to ask you at the end of class which ones you think are effective against preventing HIV. Okay, so we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so how well do condoms reduce the risk of contracting STDs? When used every single time, condoms are most effective against HIV, reducing the risk by 85%. That's a big percentage. All right, versus not using one at all. Condoms are moderately effective in reducing the risk of other STDs spread by genital fluids like chlamydia and gonorrhea. Okay, so moderately, about 50%. 50% they'll prevent gonorrhea or chlamydia. Why do you think there's a difference between it preventing like HIV, which is a viral infection, versus a bacterial infection like chlamydia or gonorrhea? Why do you think it's more effective against HIV. Any thoughts on that? Yes, it is. Okay, but so is gonorrhea and chlamydia.
Because it eliminates like the direct contact.
Thank you. Yes, it eliminates the direct contact. Okay, so with HIV and being viral, it's a little bit different than the bacterial as well. Okay, where if you have oral sex, okay, chlamydia and gonorrhea can be spread a little bit more easily through the fluid than the HIV. Okay, does that make sense, guys? So that's why it's only 50% versus that 85% for HIV. Okay, condoms are less effective in reducing the risk of STD spread by skin to skin sexual contact. Okay, so herpes, syphilis, and HPV. And this is the answer that I just kind of asked you guys. Then for those spread by genital secretions. Okay, so the skin to skin contact, condoms are less effective in reducing the spread of those because it's skin to skin contact. Okay, where HIV and chlamydia and gonorrhea are spread through the fluids. Condoms offer no protection if the infection is located outside the area covered by the condom. So for example, like herpes can be not just like inside the vulva or on the back side of the penis, but it can be like even around that area. So if that skin to skin contact happens, that's herpes can be spread that way. Okay, does that make sense? Rather than, so it could be just touching that person there. Okay, so you've got to be really careful with that. According to the Centers for Disease Control, condom use cannot guarantee absolute protection against any STD. So, is safe or safer sex completely safe? No. Okay, it's not. Just because you wear a condom doesn't mean, oh yeah, we're good from pregnancy, we're good from STDs, we're protected. Okay, it does not guarantee that. All right. Abstinence. What is abstinence? What is abstinence? What is that? Yes.
No sex at all.
No sex at all. Okay, provides the only 100% protection against pregnancy or contracting an STD, which is kind of a duh thing. Okay, what is it? What is that? What abstinence? ABSTINENCE. Abstinence. Okay, so or sexual delay, so waiting until marriage. Okay, that's the only way, guys, that you can keep yourself safe. All right, so what I need you guys to do now, all right, we're going to have a little group activity. So, do you guys remember your groups? Or, well, I didn't give them to you yet, but remember who you were thinking about putting in your group? Okay? Y'all can put your packets aside. All right, I'm going to have you guys get into your groups. You're going to come up to me. You've got 1 minute to come get your topic. Hold on, please. You're going to do a little bit of research so you can have your phone or your computer. I'm going to give you about, it's 1 o'clock, so we got about, I'm going to give you like 10 minutes tops to get this research done and fill it out on the Padlet. Okay? There's a Padlet that's on this next slide. You're going to scan that QR code. One person be a researcher. One person or a couple people be researchers. Somebody needs to be the scribe. Okay? All right, so when you have your group, come up to me, get your topic, and go back and get started. You'll have about, well, now only 9 minutes. Okay, question. A scribe is someone who's typing the answers. Okay, ready, set, go. Who's you? Who's me? Okay, so Gio, Beyonce, Evan, okay, you're good. You guys have HIV, okay? Who's in your group, sweet? All right, guys, we signed up. Let's go. Okay. And who else? Veronica, Robin, Moxie, Evan. Who's in that group? Okay, you guys have gonorrhea. Taraji.
I can be a scribe. I'll be a
So you guys can join that group. Then, okay, who's in your group?
Yeah, it's been fun to be popped out. Okay, so
You guys have HPV.
no, it gotta be
HPV, human papillomavirus.
I'm giving it a limit.
Yes. You can do it now or the other class. Isaac?
Because I'm saying, but maybe it was also, if I did feel like,
No, you guys got
came out, and someone's like, yo, just like you, bro, it's all red or gas. Especially if you bad too. I mean, yeah, because, okay, so after that.
Okay, you guys have to.
Right when it came out.
Alright, girly. Missouri,
What?
is that everybody? Your group, okay, you guys are.
It's called.
Alright, my last group, you guys have trichomonas. I'm gonna put it up on the board, okay? So Sophia, Ellie, Katie, Jenny, and Caitlin. Okay. Dylan, do you want to join the group?
Okay, so let's
Just join them with them. Andrew, be with them too.
Coach, we need to
Yes,
Yes.
This one's on Monday.
I need to put back up the
Alright, here's the QR
This one's
code.
Monday. This one's Monday. Oh, you look almost the same.
Alright, that will lead you to the Padlet. The Padlet is where you have one person be the scribe who texts the answers.
Okay.
Okay?
What are the questions?
I have it. Is everybody good?
How do you spell that? G-O-H-O-R-R-H.
Here's your groups again. Yes.
Okay, so the first question is, how is it spread?
Are you guys good?
Sexually transmitted.
Y'all got it? Jeremiah, I'm gonna work with these guys here, okay?
Why is she itching? It does not go away on its own. It does not go away on its own. I'm giving you a gift today.
Alright, y'all got 5 minutes or 6 minutes. 6 minutes left. Y'all have enough people in your group. You should be able to get this done in 6 minutes.
Sexual contact. Hey.
Where's the scribe?
Sorry.
Are you the scribe?
Sorry.
Make sure we're working, guys. No. You can keep it if you want. All right, good. We're on the CDC website. That's good.
Okay, what the next one is,
It's literally
what are the signs of
Nasal irritation. Okay. Abnormal discharge. Are you a little bit everywhere? Yes. Sorry.
Last Monday, this Monday, you didn't go.
I give my mom my real quick.
But when I called them,
Okay, I don't know why.
Timer's on the board. There's enough people in your group that everyone should be able to cover one of the questions. All right?
No. It's not your voice. Where does it go on its own?
So,
Wait, it requires yeah.
where's the QR code?
Where does it go on?
Somebody, Ibram is your scribe. He's on.
I just want to add something. I don't even know what and
wait, no, I heard you. For one. Okay.
Oh.
So I have to like the coffee and then I saw something. Is it viral or not?
You can text. Stop being sad.
Next is how is it? Oh, it's
Come on, you're always on your phone. Look up why aren't you doing anything? Where's your phone? Come on, Omar.
What are the statistics?
Look up number 4. It says, how is it spread? You got that? Oh, you need number 6? Is it curable? Say it simple, yes or no. Okay, and then is it viral or bacterial? What do you guys have? What do you have? What is your STD? HIV? Is it viral or bacterial?
Did I say number 2? Oh, yeah.
Human pepper. HIV is human immunodeficiency virus.
Is it viral?
Yes, it's a virus. It's a virus, not a bacterial infection. A bacterial infection is what? Like gonorrhea or because it's curable. A viral infection is not. HIV is not curable, so it's a viral infection. And it's in the name. Virus. We're learning things. 2.5 minutes.
Oh, that I said number 3. What's the definition? Okay, yeah. What's the definition?
A sexually transmitted bacterial infection.
Bacterial is the word. There you go. Taraji, what are you guys doing? Ew, what is that? Ew, put that away. Put that away. You should be working. All right. You're fine with that. Put that away. Thank you. You can play with that at lunch. That looks like a giant.
Is it viral or bacterial? We haven't mentioned that. Okay, number 8. How's it treated?
Okay, and then is there number 11? What? Okay, yeah.
You guys got HPV?
Okay. Yay, publish.
No.
Oh,
yeah, there's no cure.
Okay.
How's it treated, not cured. That's the same thing. No, it's not treated. How's it treated?
COVID's right here. In your packet? Do they Kevin has it.
Looks like it doesn't matter.
Yes, I saw that.
Let me know when you're in the last. I don't care who you are. Like,
It's just called RART. Lots of information right here.
I'm finding number 9. Got it.
I don't think sorry, that was my fault. I didn't give you
Wait, sorry. Is it not like
30 seconds! You guys need more time? I can give you 2 extra minutes. That's all I can spare.
yeah, that's what I'm safe. I don't know about that. It was like, you can just.
So, I can take it now. We'll do it again. It's number 10.
Okay, you know what I mean.
It's okay. I got a new timer. Good job. There we go.
I saw it. It was like basically the same thing.
Oh my, we're done.
It was like
That's actually really nice. Like really good.
That's really crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like what I
I was so happy. Pour that up. So she goes,
We're done. You see the GP?
40 seconds.
I'm so sorry to be.
Ebro, what is this? Yes, it can be associated with health problems. What health problems?
Yo, he told me to write that.
What health problems, guys?
Beyonce.
Alright, we're gonna talk.
Yeah, they do it.
Hey, find the answer of why, like this last one, it says it can be associated with health problems. What health problems? I'm asking you all that question. I'm asking everybody one question. Alright. Please get yours, put up on the board.
Associated with AIDS.
You put ours up on the board? Alright, keep working to submit yours, boys. Perfect. Okay?
I'm writing that.
Alright. 5, 4, look at me please. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, where you're at is fine. You guys can stay here. Oh no.
Coach is not.
That's not. So, really quick, I'm gonna ask each group one question about their research. Okay? So, for Ibram's group, since you guys are already I already asked you your question. Okay? What the heck just happened? Okay. So what did you mean by, all right, so theirs was HIV, okay? A virus that attacks the body's immune system. What is the health problems that it can be associated with? HIV turns into what?
AIDS.
AIDS, okay, so what other things can you contract or what happens with that? Cancers and infections, good, thank you, okay? So what does HIV do? It weakens the what? The immune system, which is our body's what? Protector, defender, okay? So that's not good if we can't fight off disease, okay? All right, so Ibram's good. Zuri, let's see. So they had syphilis, okay? Okay, so life-threatening complications decades after the initial infections. If it's left, what? Untreated, okay? So, and theirs is there, are there symptoms? Are there symptoms?
Yeah, there's skin sores, rashes.
Skin sores, rashes. Good, so that can be, and guys, with syphilis, that can be like one sore that comes and then goes, and then you don't realize you have it. And that's when it becomes the second and third stages of syphilis, and that's when it becomes deadly. Okay, good. All right, good. Zuri's group, good job. Robin's group, you guys had gonorrhea. Okay, is that a bacterial infection?
Yes.
Yes. Is it treatable, curable?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good job. Okay, we learned about that one earlier. So Katie's group, guys, this is a new one. Listen, please, people in the back. Taraji, Sade, Ibram, Kevin, Omar. Listen, okay? Trichomoniasis is not one we went over yet. Okay, so trichomoniasis is an STD that's caused by a parasite. Okay, so it's primarily spread still through sexual contact, specifically vaginal, anal, okay, or oral sex. And it does have some gross symptoms. Okay, vaginal discharge that's usually green or yellow with a bad odor. All right, genital itching, burning, or redness. But guys, what does this also possibly look like? Something else, right? What? What could it be? What other? Yeah, like a UTI or what else? Yep, a yeast infection. It could be chlamydia. It could look like something else. Okay, so it's always important to get what? Tested, or if you have something going on, ask your doctor. Okay, good. It can be treated by antibiotics. Okay. All right. Let's see. Last one. Okay, gonorrhea. All right, no, you guys did good. I think we're good. Okay. What is this? A bacteria. Yep, supposed to be. All right, good. You guys are good. Let's go back to our desks. Okay, and then we're gonna close out, and I'm gonna talk about what we're doing tomorrow. We got a few minutes left, okay? All right, we're almost done. Good job, guys. Good job. Not bad. Okay? All right, really quick.
Yes.
Which STDs have no cure? Call them out. HIV. HIV is it turns into AIDS. So HIV, AIDS. What else? Nope. Nope. Those are bacterial. Those are curable. There's 3. HPV. Thank you, boys, who did that one. HPV, human papillomavirus. And what's the other one? You guys remember? Nope. Not PID. Herpes. Herpes it stays for life, guys. Gross. Okay? All right. So herpes, HIV, and HPV. Listen. Shh. 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank you. Okay. All right. So here's my question about contraception methods, which means preventing pregnancy. Okay. So tell me, are they effective or not? Ready? Okay. Condoms, are they effective in preventing STDs? Yes. Okay. What about abstinence? Yes. Good. You should know what that is. The Rhythm method? No. That means no protection. Not effective. The female condom? Somewhat. Okay, somewhat. Okay, now, here's the problem with that though. A female condom is inside the vagina. That doesn't mean it protects if there's still fluid, right, that is exchanged. That one's a little bit sketchy. So I'm gonna say about 50% here. Birth control pill? No, because if you're not using this or this, okay, you still can contract. Oral sex? No, it is not effective. Okay, even though, guys, in the back, that's like the 4th time I've had to ask you guys, please. We're almost done, okay? It is not effective in preventing STDs. Some people might think, oh, well, you know, no big deal. They can still be contracted and given through oral sex, okay? All right, like herpes, that's one. All right, forecast for tomorrow. Okay, we have a dress out day tomorrow. Like I said earlier, Friday is also a dress out day. We will be working out tomorrow, most likely doing our fitness gram testing. All right, so our 12-minute run. Before we go, I need you to get your phone out and go ahead and do the exit ticket. All right, that's going to be your exit ticket for today's class, okay? Once you have that done, you may line up at the door, okay?
What about our packet? Are we gonna send it in?
Yes, your packet you can hand in up here whenever you're done with your exit ticket. You cannot come to the door unless you're done with your exit ticket. You don't have your phone? Okay. Here, I'm gonna give it to you on an index card then. Actually, no. I'm just gonna tell, okay. What just happened? Oh. Sorry.
What's one camera?
I just logged in.
It's not letting you in?
Yeah.
Are you signed into your account? It's probably, hold on, let me change the settings. Okay, so you try it now. Try refreshing it and then try it now. Good. All right. What is one thing that you learned today
Well, I think it's your herpes that like.
Yeah. And then what's the only proven way to protect it?
What do you mean? It's like.
Good. Absolutely. Do you have any questions? You learned that questions are still on Guys, do not leave yet. Stay here.
What's question?
Hi guys, do not stay.
You see,
Okay.
No, it depends on like if it's still. I don't think we just stand up. We're bad.
HIV.
Oh,
Through blood, like, usually through like your legs, because you know, like the baby's part of you, so that all that's getting, if it's HIV. If it's not, it can be passed, but that's usually if it's through a vaginal. So usually they do a C-section. Yeah, good question. You want a piece of candy? Go ahead, Jirachi. Bye guys, good job. See you later. See you tomorrow, sweetie.